everybody. Josh the RV Nerd here at Bish's RV. Big shout out and welcome back to the regular return of members of the RV Nerd Herd, and just a plain old welcome to those joining us for the first time. This RV behind us right here has like one of the most cult-like followings I've seen. There's entire Facebook groups dedicated to just how much people like this one and use it. For good reason though. It packs major punch into a small lightweight package. So it's on tandem axles, it's narrow body, so it's easy to tow, but it gives us a dinette slide to regain the living space that the narrow body would have otherwise lost. You don't even notice when you're inside it's really narrow body, especially because you have that light color palette and big windows wherever they possibly could. They even added an extra campsite window recently here after they personally did some test camping in it at Apex and went, yeah, this thing, I can't see my kids. So they fixed that problem. We have enclosed underbelly, optional holding tank heaters, and Goodyear Wrangler tires if you want to get off the pavement a bit, as well as a standard 200-watt solar package. But we have a 60x80 True Queen bed, your choice Murphy bed or fixed bed that we're going to see today. So it's like Burger King, you get to have it your way. A little mini camp kitchenette, decent patio awning space, double over double bunks, and a whole lot more, like an all-aluminum skeleton, helping keep the weight down, as well as what I call double Asdel, where it's Asdel composite layering on both the inside and outside layering of your walls. They do a lot to keep the weight in check on this, so it is small, light, easy towing, but provides big camping feature and comfort when you get to your destination. And if you choose, again, to get that Murphy bed, you can even kind of simulate the space of a super slide in your living room with it. It's got a couple downsides, though, as well, and I'm going to share the good, bad, ugly with everything in between as we go. And let me know, what do you like about this one, and what do you think of the 2025 updates? And once again, I want to begin by mentioning you can get this floor plan two very distinct ways, with or without a Murphy bed. And I think that that's a major variance in differentiation for people. I obviously don't edit my videos very much. I just kind of keep rolling with my beautiful bean footage. That is a 60x80 True Queen in a narrow body, lighter weight family camper. There's not a whole lot of others that are offering a True Queen like that in just a straight fixed bed. There's some brands like Surveyor that do 80-inch folding queen, which is exactly what the Murphy bed version of this is. If you want to kind of see it in action, check out, I think, my 23 or 2022 version of this footage, and you'll get to see what I mean there. Now, I don't use fisheye wide-angle lenses. Typically, you know, we're actually looking at a barreled ceiling. One thing I will mention is this RV does not have centralized ducting, but the irony is that actually makes it a little bit more efficient system, since the cold air isn't getting heated up a little bit in the ductwork before it gets pumped down. The bathroom will have the small fan, but the big room where you have all of this window coverage, that has the large fan to really kind of force some airflow through here. Now, speaking of windows, with their Murphy bed, their Murphy bed doesn't fold up in a way that blocks the front windshield. So this is one of the few front windshield Murphy bed, possibly, campers out there that you still get to enjoy the full view of the window. But, pardon me, speaking of full views, they added that third window, the left-hand window as we're looking at it right now, that was added this year. And I think, once again, that has a major impact on just the general feeling of openness in the floor plan. Not to mention, you really can keep an eye all around your campsite now. Whether you're standing in the kitchen, sitting at the table, like even sitting over here, if I had to, I could peek over my shoulder, kind of cheat through those windows and still have an idea what's going on most of my campsite. They did a really handy thing there. Something else they did that's easy to miss based on your input. Last year they had a 3-burner stovetop. It ate up all the counter space because you also have a big stainless farm sink. I'll get that open for you in a few minutes. They went to the 2-burner stovetop based on your feedback so that you always have a little bit of dedicated countertop space. Now, the RV doesn't have a propane oven. It doesn't have a convection microwave, air fryer, wombo combo, any of that sort of thing. That's a problem for some folks. Some people really don't care for that. And some people, it's not an issue, you know? It's up to you to decide what works for you. Like, personally, I don't like stereos really built into RVs anymore. I think we've kind of evolved past that. But having the built-in Bluetooth speaker, that's handy. Now, it does happen to have a pair of USB charge plugs right there. even though the mount itself will charge the speaker. In theory, you could use it to charge other things, but the way it's mounted in this RV, I don't know that it's going to be the most functional in that way. Your kitchen countertop prep space, even with the two-burner stove, is still limited, but it's not nothing, you know. Very easy cleaning, pet friendly. No carpeted flooring. It used to have like carpeted side stands beside the bed because that was the cheapest way to cover it. I mean, just to put it bluntly, that was the reasoning behind it. And they dressed that up and they finally paneled all that up, so it just looks a little bit cleaner. That, by the way, is a 12-volt DC compressor fridge of the more 8 cubic foot variety. Our double bunks over here are 300-pound rated. They each have their own privacy curtain and breeze window as well. So, you know, there's definitely RVs out there that have a... Oh, hold on, I forgot to flick on the light over here. There's some RVs out here that have a little more razzmatazz, but this one knocks out the function points. And it's easy to miss because it's all the way around this corner, but you do have some power outlets up there and some power outlets down here. They're households, but the thing with a household bed, or power outlet, is you can always just plug the old USB adapter into it, probably like you have at home. And they did at least include a folding bunk function. It's not a full rear wall cargo door, because you have like some water lines and some things running right through there, water, electrical. I'm not sure what's under that box. So let me ask you this. They don't have the opportunity to put in the normal full-on like cargo opening door with the deadbolt and everything. But what if they had like a vertical baggage door? You know, you maybe wouldn't be able to shove a kayak through it, but would that be better than nothing? You know, I kind of feel like it would be. I will tell you, it's going to add some weight to the RV because of the framing. It's also going to add some cost to the RV, not just because of the materials, but, you know, the labor of people building it suddenly changes. They also do a little bit of this, like, kind of deep blue on their fabric tones, or their pleather, leatherette, whatever you want to call it, which you just don't see a lot anymore. Everything is just so beige and neutral, and certainly the floor plan overall does, but isn't it crazy how just a little pop of color just breathes a touch of life into it, you know? We'll come back, I tell you what, we'll come back and open all that stuff up. I will mention, this floor plan is not ideal for sitting inside watching TV all day, but I don't think that's who an Apex buyer in the Nano series, the small guys like this, typically is. I think this is a camper for people that like to get out and about and have a good time. But if you're going to sit inside and have to spend some time, you've got plenty of room around that toilet to do it. They do a pretty solid job there. This isn't a massive countertop, but at least they gave us a dedicated sink right in the bathroom. You don't have to wash your bathroom hands in the kitchen sink. Some folks really have an aversion to that. Up top here, once again, they do the smaller vent fan in the smaller room of the RV. And thankfully, with that skylight and barreled ceiling combo, if you're a little over 6 foot like me, you can still stand in that shower without your head necessarily being all up in that skylight. I do also like the inclusion of like the Octopus Fight Club towel hooks there. Just something, you know what I mean, to allow you to hang a towel somewhere. The countertops are a sealed edge thermofoil, which is all thermofoil used to be. And then some suppliers came up with the idea, what if we didn't seal the bottom of it, we just put this candy-coated top shell on, and it was still just like the particle board core. And some manufacturers said, if that's cheaper, we'll do it. Well, Coachmen never has. They're still doing the kind that is sealed. Now, you don't want to put hot stuff on it, but overall, it's just going to perform a little bit better. Let's dive through all the different storage here. Like that dinette can obviously fold down into a sleeper. There's storage under those. I will say this front bedroom does have a privacy curtain, which is awesome, but it is super, super see-through. I've already kind of talked to the factory guy, who's the one who came up with the idea of adding the extra campsite window to see his kids, and he says, yeah, I agree. Actually, he was already setting a meeting with his like linen supplier, his fabric supplier, to find something that would add a little bit more privacy up there. Now, I don't know if they're going to find a solution or what it might be. So maybe keep that in mind if you're watching this footage 3 or 4 months from now. It may look slightly different than what you've seen here. And again, you have a choice between the folding Murphy bed with a sofa below or the fixed bed that you're looking at here. I would be kind of curious, people watching this, which one would you prefer to go with and why? I love the concept of the Murphy bed giving us that extra space, but in this floor plan, I don't know that it actually does give us extra space because of the way the mattress folds. Again, watch my older footage of this model and you'll see what I mean. I am kind of leaning more in the camp today, personally, of the fixed straight bed that we're looking at, if for no other reason than it allows me to replace it with something that could actually be very nice and very comfortable, which is not always easy on a folding mattress. Regardless of which bed you get, though, the traveling access on this is fantastic because one of the bedding options is a 80-inch long True Queen fixed bed. They had to make sure they built the entire layout capable of retracting the slide without smashing into the mattress. So, that's a handy little detail. When the slide is closed, though, we can get to all of the sleeping space. You can get to all of your core kitchen stuff. You can get, you can get to every single bit of the cabinetry. It's very easy, not a problem at all, to get back to the bathroom. This is fantastic. Like, it's funny. It doesn't feel like it's a narrow body when you're traveling or when you get to your destination. And because of the access, it doesn't really feel like that on the road either. This floor plan just somehow, whether they did it intentionally or not, really cracked a lot of codes, I think. This RV's weight categories are also pretty excellent. So your empty dry weight's going to be somewhere probably between 4,300 pounds, has a maximum loaded weight of 6,000 pounds. That means you've got about, 1,800 pounds potentially of available cargo capacity? That's, I've seen fifth wheels with less than that. That is pretty darn good. I'm not upset about that at all. Back here, their little mini camp kitchenette has seen a couple different evolutions over the years. I do like that they're using that little kind of pull-out griddle top right now, along with Dad's medicine cabinet. Now, this is standard. So if you're like, I don't care. I don't need any of that stuff. You could remove it, but there's no, you can't request the factory to not do it and have a little bit of a cost saving because it's part of the standard base cost build. I don't mind the things that are there. I don't know that I would use that griddle a ton, but I don't know that I'd remove it. If I wanted to remove it, though, I'd just have a little pull-out utility shelf, which isn't bad. And I think a fridge outside is pretty much always handy. One of the major content updates this year is they've gone to a tankless on-demand water heater. Especially in a bunk model like this, you got a bunch of back-to-back showers. It is pretty handy to have that available. By default, you'd normally have generic import tires, but as an option, you can get these built with Goodyear Wranglers right from the factory. Now, one of the cool things of that is not only is it just a tire with, better sidewall integrities, but it also raises the RV up a little bit. Now, obviously, you're adding to your overhead clearance, so be careful of that. The specs that you saw on screen assume the base tires. I think you add an inch or two, maybe, with the Goodyear, so kind of keep that in mind. You don't want to, pop-top your air conditioner off this sucker at any point, obviously. The pass-through compartment here, I do like on a lot of these Apex trailers, these small little guys, they're still giving us a big front pass-through compartment. And this is where your charge controller is located, which I prefer it inside, but the fact that it has that USB plug on the side right there means that portable Bluetooth speaker that we saw, you can keep that sucker outdoors and keep it powered up if you just want to keep the tunes crunching all day long. Now, between the forward awning arm and the entry door, there's a window. And I actually missed it the first time I walked through the RV. Then I sat down on the bed and looked over and realized that window didn't used to be there. One of the cool things about a lot of the Apex series of RVs is the people that actually design these go out and test use them. And they realize, wait a minute, I can't keep an eye on my kids when I'm inside the RV, and they got kind of spooked by that and started looking and went, it'll add a couple bucks to the RV, but that's juice to me that's worth the squeeze, keeping an eye on my kids, making sure they're all right. So that's a nice little update and upgrade, and with that breeze across window right there, you don't necessarily have to have the entry door open to get some good airflow. I do like the new updated look of these, personally. I think it looks very, very sharp, although Apex for the last couple of years, I thought it was actually looking pretty good. That is a Schwinn-Tech slide system. This has an all-aluminum skeleton with dual Asdel walls, so no wood in the walls, basically. This is riding on a Lippert chassis. A lot of people have been asking me, hey, can you mention what chassis RVs are on when you're outside there? I'll do my best to fulfill. If you have requests like that, I can't guarantee that I can get to every single one of them every single time, but I'll do my best to try to fill it in because I've said it before. You folks at home, you really are the ones that drive this channel, and thank you for staying behind the wheel and keeping me informed on the things you want to learn about. I'll do my best to fill that in. The roof is walkable. There's a 200-watt solar panel up there, factory standard. It's also prepped and ready for a telescopic removable ladder, which you'll see when we get around the back side here. I want to point out, though, just the smart locations of like all the hookups on this RV. This camper, for me, really just nails almost everything that I'm personally kind of looking for in a small, lightweight family camper. And again, with the Goodyear tires, you're gaining more ground clearance to keep your rear stabilizer jacks and your sewer stuff up off the ground. And I also want to give them a little bit of credit. When you get the Goodyear tire package, you're also getting the same Goodyear Wrangler spare tire. And I really want to point that out because it's kind of baffling how many manufacturers will offer things like Goodyear tires on the ground, but your spare hidden away is often an import, and you're not going to have that here. Now, if you're looking at this, but you're like, yeah, but I don't want my bed just in the middle of the room. You know, you want to change that around a little bit. Well, you know what? Good news. They make plenty of floor plans like that too with private bedrooms. I will leave you a link in the video description first to check for pricing and availability on this one. So whether you're curious or whether you're serious, you're one click away from checking a real world price tag today. I'll also try to dig up a couple like similar floor plans from other builders, maybe a couple with or without private bedrooms. Cross compare, watch a couple videos, let me know which one you'd go with and why. And until next time, thanks guys, appreciate it. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping everyone.